Today, I want to talk to you about what to do if you're feeling frustrated or uncertain about your job search. You are in the job market and you are saying, what the heck is going on? I'm applying for jobs, I'm not getting interviews, or I'm applying for jobs, and I just really don't know how to really find a job. Hi, I'm Barika from Simply Unique Coaching, and I've been leading for over 15 years, and I have led way more than 18 teams. And I am here to help you with your job search by giving you some things to consider that you may not have thought of before. And if you are currently in the job market and you're saying, hey, I am looking for a job, or I'm now in a position where I need to look for a job, maybe you got laid off, or maybe you got fired, or maybe you just feel like you need to make a move, which I really want to caution you about making a move if you don't have to right now, because the job market is not what it was a couple of years ago. We're in a recession economic cycle. So if you're feeling frustrated in looking for a job or not sure where to start, I want you to know that you are not alone. And today I'm going to share with you how networking can actually be the edge that you may need to help you find your next job. So, just from my own personal experience, I can tell you that quite a few of the jobs that I've had come my way over time have been from networking, not from nepotism, not because I was related to somebody or not because I was necessarily someone's favorite. I am a hard worker. I've always been a hard worker. Ever since I was a kid, I was talking to someone yesterday and I told them how I started my first business at 8 years old and I got my first job at 14 years old. So I've literally been working since I was 14 years old. And how did I get that job? Networking. Talked to my dad and said, hey, I'm looking to make some extra money. So he referred me to somebody who had me do babysitting. Also, at one point in time as a teenager, I worked in a consignment shop. Also, I worked at a car wash. I worked at a retail grocery chain at one point in time. And all of those were through relationships. And even when I got to corporate America, that was through a relationship I had with somebody who recommended that I apply for a job. They knew of jobs that were available and they recommended that I applied. And so even when I went to go work overseas, I was considering going to work maybe for a US embassy or something like that. And as I was looking at working abroad, someone I know mentions that, hey, do you know that they're hiring teachers to go abroad and teach English and stuff? And I'm like, okay, that sounds like a plan. So literally, I say all that to say the way that I was able to find a lot of jobs was through networking. So let's talk about it and how these connections can help you land your next role. So, one of the reasons why networking is important is that people like to help people that they actually like. So, if you're a good, genuine person and you have a good, genuine heart and you are a good worker and you may have some special skills that others may need, once people know that you're in the market or looking for something work wise, they are going to help you. They're going to keep their ears out, they're going to keep their eyes open. They're going to be like extra people just to help you because you can't be everywhere at the same time. But by talking to people and letting them know that you are interested in looking for other positions or other opportunities, they're going to help you along in the search. Also, people like to recommend people that they know and that they have experience with, especially like if you work for someone before or you've worked with someone on the team, they won't mind recommending you because they know the caliber of your work. They know what you bring to the table. So they have seen you in action. So they really won't have a problem recommending you to someone else because they know that their reputation is not going to be tarnished by recommending you because they've had a pleasant experience with you. So keep that in mind too. We want to have a good reputation, good character, because as we do that, then other people will not have a problem recommending us for other jobs and other positions. Also, another reason why networking is important is that when people get to know you in a work setting or in a social setting, they get to see more of the authentic part of you, the part that can't be faked on an interview, the part that can't be hidden, especially if they've been working with you for years or for an extended period of time. They've come to know the authentic you are, at least the part that you show in a certain setting, and they'll know, okay, yes, this is somebody I feel comfortable recommending. I've had somebody that wanted me to write them a letter of recommendation after they worked for me, and I absolutely did not do it because had I wrote the letter of recommendation, it would not have been a letter of recommendation. It would have been a letter of do not hire this person because they really have a negative attitude. And in that case, they just really did have a negative attitude. So I just refused to write the letter because I was going to be honest about how they performed when they worked for me. And I can't lie. I'm not going to lie about that. But there are other people that have been on my team and I'm like, absolutely, I'll write a letter of recommendation for you, and I will help you get to the next level, whether it's you want to apply for college, whether it's you want to get in another position, you want to get into another company. As long as I had a pleasant experience working with you, I have no problem writing a letter of recommendation. And other people should feel the same about you as well. So now let's take a moment to talk about practical steps for networking, because I know that this is something that's a little bit different, especially in this day and age. There are quite a few people who really do not feel comfortable socializing. And it's really interesting because Initially, I worked with adults and then I worked with teens and then I worked with children. So it's kind of like I worked backwards, worked my way backwards, right? But what I realized is that, especially once I started working with the children on the latter part of, I guess, my work experience, or kind of like, I don't want to say my career, but basically in the last couple of years, I worked with children and now I'm back with working with adults again. But one of the things that I realized is the importance of socialization. And I could tell when a child wasn't properly socialized, and now that I'm working with adults again, I'm like, man, or interacting with adults, I can tell when they weren't properly socialized as children, because children who are properly socialized can get along with other people and they aren't afraid to speak up. They aren't afraid to, they're not to say that they have to talk all the time, but they're not going to be that super shy person in a public setting. Like for me, I'm actually an introvert. And it's funny because when I tell people that, they're like, what? Because in the social setting, I can definitely, I have no problem introducing myself to people, striking up conversation or anything like that. However, when I am tired, I call it socially tired. When I am socially tired, then I need to rest and I need to be around people who I don't have to expend a lot of energy to just be in their presence. You know, I don't want to be on level 10 if I'm really feeling like, okay, I need to rest. But it's because I've been properly socialized. My dad was a very good extrovert. And so he put me in situations when I was a child where I had to talk to people that I didn't know. And I had to get comfortable, paying for something at the gas station when I was a bit younger. That really did help me. And my dad has never met a stranger either. He goes to the grocery store, he's going to have a conversation with someone. So seeing that helped me to learn how to talk to people I don't know. And if you don't know how to talk to people you don't know, I want to encourage you to practice, because it is a skill set and it is going to help you by opening doors that may have been closed to other people who are afraid to speak up and afraid to share maybe their expertise or their experience or just kind of what's going on with them. So when it comes to socializing with others, we also want to attend industry events and meetups and find places to connect with professionals in your field, find places to connect with professionals, period, because maybe your next job may not be in your actual field. Maybe it's in a different field. Maybe it's in a different industry. Maybe it's in a different company. It may come from someplace you never know. Like, for instance, when I was looking at working abroad, the person that recommended it to me is a person that literally does not like to take risks at all. And so I was like, okay, this must be a sign from above that I am supposed to take this job, because this person would never recommend something that wasn't kind of in the box and kind of contained. This is very out of the box for me to move to the Middle East and to go work over there. And so I kind of took it as a sign that I had a fantastic opportunity working over there and met a lot of people. So going back to socializing with others, also you can use non-traditional methods to reach out to people. I remember at one point in time I was working in an industry that was 100% commission. And so I'm like, okay, I know from past experience, typically when I work with people, I can build good relationships. So I'm like, okay, in this instance, I'm kind of like supported by this company, but I'm kind of on my own. I have to find my own clients. And so I started attending different networking events. I started attending my college networking events. I started attending professional networking events, citywide networking events. I started to go to volunteer events that were happening because I needed to expand my network. I needed to build my network. I had a chance to meet a lot of really cool people, interesting people doing a lot of different things. And yes, I've had some great experiences with that. I think even one person, he went on a game show and a couple of us got together at a restaurant to watch his premiere of him on the game show, and I would have never had, and I think I also met that person and their family member in London once, so, and that all came through networking. So I say all that to say, when it comes to the job space, people who like you, again, they're going to recommend you. They're going to keep their eyes out for you. They're going to say, hey, I remember I met that person at one time that has that skill. And I know the company I'm working for is looking for this, or I know my friend who's hiring is looking for this, or whatever the situation. And again, definitely just feel free to reach out to your family and your friends. Let them know that you are looking. Let them know you're looking, okay? Because that is a great way to have those eyes and ears and people who care about you also helping you with your job hunt. Instead of you just being the one doing the job hunt, they are helping you with your job hunt. Also, you want to be clear on your objectives and what you want to accomplish. Like, are you looking to stay in the same exact industry? Are you looking to stay in the same exact job type and you're looking for a different company or maybe a different location? You want to be very, very, very clear. And again, I've said in my other video, right now we're currently in a recession. So if you don't have to move jobs, like if you're not in a dire situation, I would say, you improve your professional skills and stuff like that, but definitely don't make a hasty move out of emotions and come to regret it later. Cause I've seen several people putting online that they've been applying for jobs 2 years, 3 years, and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, something's going on there. And that's when a deeper dive has to be done to figure out what is the situation. Is it the resume? Is it the application? Is it the way that they're interviewing? Is it what is the disconnect that's happening? Or are they being super, super picky, or are they super niche down in their specialty where they can't really migrate into another industry or another company as easily as maybe in some other jobs and positions? Also, this is super important when you're networking. Please, please, please be genuine. Please be yourself. Please do not put on a fake face. And I'm going to be honest, when you are in the job hunting mode, you don't want to be desperate. And I know it can be hard, because especially if you like really need a job and you really need income, that can be something kind of quite serious. Try as best as you can to learn how to have peace of mind, peace of heart, because those things are going to be important, because as you're communicating with people, they want to know the genuine part of you. And if you're coming from a place of fear, people can pick up on that. And then they feel like, "Ooh, something ain't right here. Something's not right here. I don't know about this person. But you can be honest with your story. I'll give an example. I'm going to make up a name. Hey, I'm Susie Q. Nice to meet you. And your name is? Awesome. Awesome. So what do you do? Okay. Okay, great. Well, I am currently actually looking to make a career change. I was working for this other company for a couple of years, and they just recently had layoffs. So I am definitely putting myself back out into the market and getting to know people, because I know that one of the best ways to find out about jobs that may not be on job boards or that may not be widely known by other people is just through getting to know people. So I just really want to be here to get to know people, and then to share with them that I'm actually looking for a job. So if you know of anything that comes up in my field, you can definitely let me know. And then you just start talking to the other person and you have that genuine connection, and see how that just kind of flowed out. I like literally just made that up on the spot, right? So, but the more you practice in talking to people and being prepared and practice that how you want to come across. It's not going to be perfect. Don't be super nervous, but practice in the mirror, practice with a friend, introducing yourself, and then just sharing that, hey, I'm looking for a job. And some people have no problem asking for help, and other people, especially if you're one of those strong people, one of those independent people, one of those people who's not used to having to have other people do stuff for you, it's going to be tougher for you, but you can do it, because you just have to train yourself to say, it's okay. I just need to be interdependent. I can be independent when I need to be, but when I need help, I can also ask for help and let other people come and rally alongside me and help me get to the next part of my life journey. So remember that networking is also a two-way street. So maybe you talk to that person, they may never know of any job that's available, but keep that person in mind, because maybe you encounter somebody else later down the road that might need their services, that might need to go to their gym or might need to go to their restaurant. So make sure it's a two-way street, where it's not you trying to take, where you're actually giving and putting out some good seeds into the world. Because you put good seeds out there, good things come back to you. Also, you want to be honest about what you can and cannot do. Okay. So like for me, I am great at many things and I know my limitations. Like if you want something hand drawn and created from scratch, I'm probably not your person for that. But if you need other types of creative ideas, like how to come up with creative problem solving, I am great at that, and with solving very difficult problems. And so just know what you're good at and what you're not good at. Don't try to sell a bill of goods that you're not good at. Know intimately what your strengths are, because that is how you can help sell yourself, because your strengths are innately in you. They're not going to change, and somebody needs those skills. So you want to make sure that you are able to offer those beautiful skills that you have to the world and to the right company and to the right job. And really, you want to leave a positive impression with people when you're networking, because people are going to keep you in the top of mind, when positions come up, when situations come up. I remember when it came time for me, when I was working overseas, the first company, I was like, I don't think this is the best fit. I knew it wasn't the best fit. It just wasn't the best fit. But on that job, I got to meet a really amazing coworker, and she told me about another company she worked with in the same region and how she had an amazing experience with them. And so from that, she gave me some tips and some pointers how to get on their radar in a good way, and how they did their hiring practices, because it was very different. It was not the traditional way. They don't post anything publicly. They do everything privately. And I would not have known that had I not talked to her. But the tips she gave me, I was able to get hired on my own reconnaissance, meaning like I did the legwork and they didn't know that I had talked to her. They didn't know that I knew her or anything like that. So I didn't lean on, hey, I know this lady who used to work for you guys. No, no, no. I just went in as myself, but I used the best practices. I created a brochure in addition to my resume. So I had my resume, but I had a brochure that I created that had different samples of work that I had done and that could help showcase my skills, as well as I had done a couple of other things that helped make me stand out from the crowd. And even I think on my interview, I had a presentation of some of the things that I use. Even when I'm working live, it's like, okay, this is how I kind of go through my workflow with my when I'm working with students and X, Y, and Z. And then I was able to showcase my skill set and come across as a very strong candidate. And I was pretty much hired like on the spot. So I say all that to say, be your genuine self, be who you are. You want to stay top of mind so that when those opportunities do come up, and they will, that people think of you and say, I know the perfect person for you. Oh, I know this job is coming up and I think it has your name written on it, right? So this relates to this topic. Do you think that during the pandemic, people lost some of their social skills, or do you think that they are still feeling the effects? Do you kind of see that in society where people are still kind of feeling the effects of having a lack of social skills and socialization during that time? Let me know in the comments. And also, if you have ideas on how people can improve their socialization, because that is really a skill set that definitely should be developed. I remember, actually, I'm going to be honest. I had somebody that I was looking to hire. They would have gotten a really good job, gotten a really good salary and everything like that for one of my clients. And the person didn't want to do a Zoom interview. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I don't even know if you are who you say you are. Like, we absolutely are not going to hire somebody and not ever do an interview with them where we can at least hear their voice, or at some point in time, in the digital age. But I didn't see your face. I need to see that you're actually who you say you are, because there's a lot of technology out there. You might be a chicken using AI. I'm joking. I'm joking. Oh, goodness. Now, if you want to find my top tips on how to find a job during a recession, I want you to watch this video next. And I want you to make it a point today to go ahead and reach out to somebody and let them know that you are looking for a job. And once you do, leave me a note in the comments. I'm so excited for you. Like, I'm rooting you on. I want to see you win. I want to see you get that next job in that position. And I want to see you be able to take care of your bills and your family. And with that being said, make it a great day.